Hi, I'm Randy Kurtz for ISB with Stretch of the Month, and I'm here this week in the home and studio of Chicago session musician, studio musician, and all-around working musician, Chris Clemente. You can find out more about him at CHRISCLEMENTE.com. So I had a question from one of our viewers asking about French bow, asking about pain in the thumb. This is a very common condition, especially with the French bow, called DeQuervain's. There can be other things that can happen from that as well, but DeQuervain's syndrome is a very common thing that happens, especially amongst these types of players. It is simply pain in the thumb. Can be called tendonitis, can be called tenosynovitis, but again, it's pain in the thumb. And usually it's caused by having too hard of a grip on the bow itself. So a couple ways to avoid that are, rather than approaching the instrument with the bow in such a way as you tighten up with that death grip and I'm ready to play now and everything in the wrist and arm and shoulder is tight, we want to start, as we always do, by approaching the instrument in a state of relaxation. So the first thing I like to do is have the bow in my hand and let it just hang at the side before I even start to play. This way, I'm not going right into playing right away and so concerned with my bow grip and the way that I'm holding it, but rather I have a sense of approaching and starting from a more relaxed place and taking a moment before I actually sort of attack the strings, as it were, with the bow. So I like to let it hang at the side first, and then I think about my thumb being relaxed rather than pressing into the bow. This is a very important thing, again, to consider. This way, when I'm able to raise my arm, I raise it all as one rather than tightening up, raising the arm and wrist, and then going at it. This is a good way to, again, be mindfully approaching the instrument and to be more aware of the thumb pressing too hard on the bow, which is frequently the problem. The other thing that I would do as an exercise is, before I'm even going to start playing, even not having the instrument particularly in my hand, maybe you will, maybe you won't, either way, I take the hand and I put it in such a position as I would have my thumb pushing into my forefinger. And I would practice bowing motions for just a moment without even having the bow, maybe mimicking on the instrument or not having the instrument, whatever your choice would be. In this way, I'm able to see the pressure that my thumb is actually putting on my forefinger. Then I do the same motion without any pressure between the thumb and the forefinger. In this way, I'm going back and forth, and I can see how easy the movement can be. My wrist is going back and forth. My arm is loose rather than having that sort of tightness that we want to have when holding the bow. Obviously, we will have some tension and tightness, but it's usually too much, and this is what causes the pain in the thumb, and this is where the problem lies. There's various treatments for DeQuervain's. You can do some ultrasound on it. There are stretches you can do, which I've shown in previous videos, but the best is prevention. I'll be talking more about bowing in the future, the differences between French and German. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of things to talk about: wrist, arm, shoulder, back, etc. But for right now, that's to address the question about the DeQuervain's, the pain in the thumb. Let's try relaxing before we approach and with the bow in hand, and let's try even before playing, even before that approach, let's try without the bow in hand, pressing the thumb against the forefinger, then taking it off, getting used to a more light, even-handed approach, and see how that does for you. I think that'll take a lot of the pain away from the thumb. And I'm Randy Kurtz here at Chris Clemente's house for the ISB, signing off. Until next time.